Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the development live stream of Tomb of Versilius. Hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you got some rest, maybe some stuff done, whatever it is you needed to do. So today, let me just check these audio levels. I adjusted where my microphone is at to see if that makes things any better. Maybe more consistent audio. Also, not having it so it's like coming in right here. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if it sounds okay. But yeah, still trying to figure out exactly how I should have audio levels, where I should have music, where I should have my voice, all that fun stuff. It does look like my microphone keeps peaking up to the red-ish. So, oh, we'll figure that out. We will figure that out. All right, so today, I am not 100% sure what we're going to work on today. So let me just pull this up. Let me fix that. So last week, we had, I'm trying to remember everything that we had created last week. So we made it so you could leave the floors. I do remember that. That's about all I remember. Last week just feels like such a blur. I also have, well, I didn't do anything, but I will say this weekend was a little rough. I was second guessing a lot of the progress that we've made on Tomb of Versilius, mostly questioning if the game is going to be fun or not. Right? Always a little bit worried about that. I want to make sure that it's going to be fun, that people enjoy playing it, and so I started thinking about things that I could change, things that I could add, what I might need or want to do to make it so that it's an enjoyable game to play. Because, I mean, what's the point of making the game if it's not fun to play? So I was kind of going through a little bit of a panic over the weekend, trying to think, like, am I going to have to go back to the drawing board, start from scratch? After a chat with my wife, she was able to convince me that no, do not go back to the drawing board. So when I go back to the drawing board, it's basically scrap everything and start everything new. And I've done that way too many times, and when I do that, it usually means the project dies, which I do not want to have happen. That is the main reason why I am streaming this and making this so public, is because I'm like, if I can't hold myself to finishing a project, I will have everybody else hold me to it. So, and the amount of comments that I've received from people saying that they are excited for when this is over. I've had people ask if they can wishlist the game on Steam, and obviously I've just had to say no. There's no Steam listing. There's nothing like that. That's not even close to being done. But yeah, so I figure if people are interested in what I currently have, I don't need to change it into something that I feel like to what I think it should be, right? So, yeah, had a lot of that on my mind over the weekend, and so I think I've gotten to the point where I'm like, no, it is good where it's at. We just, obviously there's more features that need to be added, more polish needs to be added, all that fun stuff. So let's do this. Yes, so you can leave the floors. Takes you to the next one. Bada bing, bada boom. You're good to go. Okay. Yes. So that's what we did last week. Obviously. We also added floor 3. I do remember adding floor 3. So at this point, there's a few things that need to be added. I was also thinking over the weekend about how to potentially randomly generate dungeons versus, because all the items, all the monsters, all of that is being randomly generated, right? And so I'm like, well, if I'm randomly generating that stuff, and I will implement systems to be able to dictate a bit of what it will actually spawn, right? But I figure if, oh no, my title. Yeah, Twitch is so much fun. So let's rant about Twitch for a second. So on Twitch, you can you can set up a schedule, right? Which I have done. I've set up a schedule so that Monday through Thursday it says that I'm doing game development work on Monday through Thursday. And that's great. That's good. I'm glad that I can set that schedule. But then I can also say, hey, on Fridays I'm doing this other thing. But then it doesn't copy that information that I set on my schedule and add it to the actual stream itself, which is really weird. I don't understand why it does that. You would think that if you could set up a schedule and be like, here's my title, here's the description, here's the tags, here's this, here's that, you would think that it would, copy that stuff and put it into your broadcast, but apparently not. Apparently not. So let me just update that really quick. I don't know why. Okay, come on. But it doesn't help that... Okay, there we go. There. Yes, on my schedule. Let's grab that. Nope. Yeah, because then it just like replaces... So I have my schedule, and it replaced my schedule with what I started the stream as. I don't know. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me, but that's the way that Twitch does it. So let's edit. Let's come in here. We're just going to do that. And we're going to change that from Path of Exile 2 to software and game development. There we go. Done. Okay, that was fun. That was good times. Thank you so much for pointing that out. And maybe there's just an option somewhere in Twitch that I just need to like change or set, but for some reason, and I don't know why. I don't know why it's like, nope. Anyway, well, now that we got that figured out. So, today, things we're going to be working on. We can work on trying to get random generation working for... See, the reason why I didn't do random dungeon layout generation is RPG Maker, as much as I love it, extremely limited. Very, very limited, right? So right now, everything that I am using, well, let me just show you really quick. Everything on here is just a picture. I'm just showing a picture on here, right? But I try to set them up, and everything here, these are all just pictures. So all of the UI minus like the text, yes, like all of like the different sections, that is a picture. The profile picture is a picture. The map over here, the fog that's covering the layout of the dungeon, they are all pictures covering the pictures, and so on and so forth. So with this project, I'm using a lot of pictures. And one of the biggest drawbacks of RPG Maker is it's very limited on the amount of pictures you can show on screen at a single time. So RPG Maker is limited to 100 pictures at a time, right? So not too bad, you wouldn't think that's too bad. 100 pictures, like, you'd sit here and think, okay, like, there's no way there's 100 pictures here on the screen, which is correct. You would be correct in that. But there are a lot. So here, this is a picture. The decoration, the vines here, that's a picture. The dice, that's a picture. You have to account for if there's 2 dice, there's going to be 2 pictures here. Here's accounting for 4 more pictures over here for your stat modifiers, 9 more pictures here. When you're drawing cards, there will be eventually up to 11 pictures for each card. The buttons are a picture layer. And then when it comes to the map, you've got the entire map is a picture. And then the fog is 20 pictures. So anyway, lots of pictures going on. So you very, very quickly go through the all 100 pictures that you can show in RPG Maker. So if I were to randomly spawn a dungeon, right now there's 60 rooms, right? And so if I were to randomly spawn it, I would have to show a different picture for each room that it was showing, right? because each room is going to be a different shape, whether it's empty, only being able to go vertically, horizontally, 2 ways, 3 ways, 4 ways. All of that stuff has to be taken into account. And so if I were to have it randomly generate a dungeon, I could do it. It's possible. I would just have to rework how the pictures are working, right? So I don't think we're going to do random dungeon generation in this game. I think we're just going to completely say no to that. So with that, just to remind myself to never try, we're going to go into canceled. Canceled, we're going to do random dungeon generation. Random dungeon layout generation. So I feel like having the randomization from the different monsters and items and things like that will keep it different and hopefully interesting enough. And then, hopefully we don't have to worry about trying to do random dungeon generation. It is a little bit more time consuming to manually create the dungeons as I go through, but it's not the end of the world, right? So let's do this. Let's pull this up. We're going to go here. You can see all of my Photoshop projects, all of my thumbnails and OBS scenes and all that fun stuff. All right, so we're not going to be doing random generation. So what should we work on today? We can either add more features or we can tighten up features, right? So we've got the exit sigil. So, say for example, the exit sigil on the ground. I'm going to go through, I still need to go through and update all of these misspellings of sigil. Also, I have to apologize to Microsoft Edge. I kept getting mad at Edge because every single time I would be editing sigil spelled with a C, it would get mad at me. And I'm like, no, I Googled it, and that's how you spell sigil. So I apologize, Microsoft Edge. So we've got the teleportation sigils, which is good. They are very janky, but they get the job done, which is where I'm kind of like, I don't think we need to, because eventually we will be going through and we'll be tightening mechanics up, making sure they look good, feel good, all that fun stuff. But for now, should we work on limiting the amount of items and monsters that can spawn? Because while we do want random generation, right, we also don't want too many of each thing, right? So basically right now, with it being, it is 100% random. So in here, when you enter a room, the second you enter it, so it starts the transition, right? It plays a little animation to like cover up the screen, and then it moves you to the next room. It does all that fun stuff. And then it runs through this script, which basically is just saying, hey, if this is not the sigil room, so if this is not the exit room, then you are going to say a 3 in 7 chance you are a monster, a 3 in 7 chance you're an item, and a 1 in 7 chance you're an empty room. If you're an empty room, you then have a 50-50 chance to spawn a trap. So that's what this does, right? And then it sets it in that room, and then that room now has that item, that monster, that trap, or that nothing. The problem is, random numbers, while us as humans think about random numbers as, if you're thinking 1 through 7, it's like, oh, okay, well, 1 through 7. Yeah, that's 1, 6, 4, 7, 2, 4, 3, 7, 5. But that's not how random numbers work with computers. With random strings of numbers, there could actually be 500 sevens in a row, and that would still be technically considered a random number. It just happened to pick 7 every single time, 500 times in a row, and then eventually it'll pick a 3. So, the issue with using random numbers to generate items in a dungeon is that you could, it's not likely, because it's a 3 in 7 chance, but you could technically spawn every single room a monster. No items, no anything, just monsters. So, while unlikely, I do want to limit that. So I want to, I want to limit how many monsters and items could be spawned in any given floor, right? So there's 60 rooms per floor. Now I don't want to say because there's 60 rooms. It's a 3 in 7 chance that it's a monster or an item. Well, it's a 6 in 7 chance that it's a monster or an item, a 1 in 7 chance that it's empty. So, I wonder if as you're going through. Okay, so right now, let's take a look at this. So, right here. So, basically, we've got 3 else handlers right now. So, basically says, hey, is there no monster? Are there no items? Well, no monster, no item 1, no item 2. So basically just checking to see, has anything spawned in this room before? Hey, TK Gamers, welcome to the stream. I see you're a first-time chatter. Would you like a quick tour of the game? If not, we can just continue with what we're working on. Oh, Tossin! Well, welcome to Twitch. Glad you could be here. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. So after it checks, there's no monsters, no items. Then it generates a random number between -3 and +3. Anything negative is an item, anything positive is a monster. Great. Fantastic. I wonder if we generate a larger number based on 2 variables. So here's what I'm thinking. Basically, what I'm thinking is we set a specific amount of monsters and items that can spawn in a dungeon. So let's say if we say this dungeon can spawn 20 items, when it does this random number, it's going to do a random number between -20, and then if we say there can be 20 monsters, -20 through +20. And then every time it spawns a monster or an item, it will reduce that, or I guess in terms of the negative number, increase it by 1. So basically it would be, if you run into an item, right, you're over here and it's -20, spawns an item, the next time it generates this number, it'll now be -19 through +20. If it spawns another item, -18 through +20. So, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm going to find, because I don't know how to do this in JavaScript, so I'm going to find how to do this. We're going to figure out how to generate a random number between 2 variables. JS random number between. Oh wait, is it just math.random? I guess that would make sense. Motivate me. I'm having a lot of trouble making the multiplayer system, and I almost gave up multiple times. Don't give up. Tossin, do not give up. I know running into bugs, running into issues can be extremely demoralizing. I don't think you were here at the very beginning of the stream, so I'm going to go over this again. Over the weekend, I was extremely demoralized. I was thinking that my project was dead in the water because there were so many things that I wanted to implement. There were so many new features that I was like, well, I want to add this, I want to do this, I want to change this. And I started thinking to myself, I'm like, I need to completely redo this entire project because it doesn't have the things that I want, and maybe I need to change the art style to make it more engaging. Maybe I need to do... No. Do not think like that. I know that if you run into issues, it can be very demoralizing, and that sucks. But I promise you, what you have now is better than what you would have if you just completely scrapped everything. Finish the project. I know it's going to be hard. I know that it's going to suck, and running into issues, it's never fun. Fixing bugs is never more fun than adding new features, but I promise you, when you finish, It's going to be so much better. I promise. So yeah, keep going. I know you can do it. I believe in you. If you need, pull up tutorials. I'm sure that whatever you're implementing, someone else has done before, and whether it's you can find another solution through someone else's project that they've worked on. But yeah, no, I can promise you, if you continue with what you're doing and you get that working, you're going to feel so much better about yourself than if you abandon it and move on to something else. The real problem is, I think if I really try, I can fix anything, but when I look into my game, it doesn't feel professional. No game in the beginning feels professional. When you think about professional game, I'm sure you're thinking of the finished product, right? No game is a finished product until it's done. I know that sounds really stupid to say. But yeah, being a professional product is not a metric that you can hold yourself to, right? You can't set the standard of, oh well, I this doesn't feel professional, this doesn't feel done. Well, it's never going to feel done until it's finished. And nothing creative to the person creating it is ever going to feel finished. I'm sure you could ask anyone who makes anything, whether that's games, music, art, nothing ever feels finished. But you can't let that stop you. You can't let that, keep you from, well, finishing, right? Oh, sorry. Smacked my microphone. Here is my game is almost finished. Yeah, and yeah, you think your game is almost finished. And that's like, sorry, I'm like losing my train of thought. Yeah, no, don't ever judge the quality of your game based on your experience with other things. You make what you want to make. If it feels good to you and you are happy with what you've made, it doesn't matter how it feels, as long as you've made what you want to make. So hopefully that's a kick in the pants that you need. So yeah, don't give up. Keep working on it. I know it's rough. I know it can be difficult. Bugs are annoying. Issues with code, issues with having features feel good, really frustrating. But I can promise you, if you finish it, if you fix it, if you get it working, you'll feel so much better with yourself instead of starting again or just scrapping it completely. So don't give up. I'm here for you. Okay. So yeah, I don't know why I felt like I needed to Google how to do a random number. I literally am generating a random number right here. So, um, yeah, so this is, well, but is this working how I think it's working? So this is a random number. So this is a random number between 1 and 3. So what would we need to do to have it be between two variables? So we're doing, well, let's copy that and let's start looking at it. So this is setting variable 71 to -3, between -3 and +3, right? So let's come in here. Let's find, so we're going to need two variables. We're going to need the item, so we're going to need the min max variables. Okay, so that's the bestiary, room decor, sigil. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do item spawn, and we'll call this, we'll do min, and then monster spawn max. Okay, so variable 907 and 908. Okay. Yes, 907, 908. Okay, and then we're also, so we want to affect variable 71. Okay, perfect. So the only... I don't want to make it so that the chances of having an empty room are reduced, but if I'm increasing these, maybe this isn't going to be the best solution. So my thought was, if we set a variable so that it was generating a random number, because then the empty slash trap rooms are going to be much less, which is not what we want. How would we have that scale? How would we have that scale? I'm using RPG Maker. Yeah, I am using RPG Maker MV. So it's not their latest one. MZ is their latest, but they're the way they started doing it. So a different company like bought out the RPG Maker series, like back in 2012 or something like that, and they started doing this thing where they would create their new engine, right? Because they make a new one about every, I don't know, 8 to 10 years. And so they would make the engine, and then like a year or two later, they would iterate on it and just change it just ever so slightly, and then they would re-release the new version for full price. But they were still updating the old engines. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, so it's not the newest engine, but yeah, I do use RPG Maker. So what if we do this? What if we say we generate a random number Well, yeah, how are we going to make this balanced? So if we generate a random number between -20 and +20, that means there's a 20 in 41 chance that it's an item, a 20 in 41 chance that it's a monster, and a 1 in 41 chance that it's an empty room slash a trap room. Which I don't want that few. So. Oh. Let's do this, actually. Okay, so it's going to pick a random number between -3 and +3, right? And then all we have to do is, let's do a conditional branch. If the variable, what was it, 97? 97, nope, that's room direction. 90, crap, what was it? Random number 71. 71. So if 71, okay, so we just need to do a check, right? So it's gonna pick, yes. You're using gdevelop, and there is not much tutorial that uses this engine. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I guess, yeah, some engines are gonna have a ton of tutorials, a ton of support, and then yeah, some just aren't gonna have very many. Let me I thought gdevelop. I thought I remember seeing some super long tutorial on YouTube once. Yeah, it looks like there's a couple tutorials. I thought I had one saved, but I can't find it right now. Um, yeah, that can be a huge struggle with different engines. Is some are going to be they're going to have a ton of support, and others are just going to have next to none, which can really suck. But depending on what you want to do, that could open up an opportunity for you as you go through and learn. You could create tutorials, help other people get into the engine. Could be something if you wanted to do that. I know that well, this is a long time ago. This is probably 15 years ago. I kind of started doing that for RPG Maker. I started making tutorials on it and how to do weird things in the engine. And then they started introducing so you could use JavaScript and stuff like that, and then it kind of went out the window because instead of having to do eventing, you could do JavaScript. So yeah, Could be something you could think about. Okay, so we're still going to do the -3 through +3. Let's actually loop this. What is 4 times 4 times 3 times 0 plus 1? I'm going to say 1. Because if you're multiplying 4 by 3 by 0, that sets it to 0, and then plus 1. And I think with the order of operations, you do multiplication before you do addition, so I'm going to say 1. Okay. Yes. Most people say 0. I mean, I could see that. I don't know. First, when I started seeing that typed out, I was like, hold up now. Let's see. Okay, so we want to have the same. So this is basically the balancing, right? So obviously we want a higher chance of finding items and monsters, but then we only want. Okay, so let's loop this. So we need to loop the random variable, and we need to loop the checks. So if you're equal to 0, we don't need to actually, yeah, we don't need to worry if you're equal to 0. All we need to say is if you are greater than 0, then what you need to do is check and see if the variable, come down here, monster spawn. So if monster spawn is greater than, if you're greater than 0, then call it good. No. If you are less than or equal to 0. Yes. Yeah. So if you're less than or equal to 0, then break the loop. If you're not, yes. Well, maybe we don't need a loop then. So if we're going -3 to +3, then we're basically saying if you were a monster. So if you are a positive integer, and then if there are more monsters to spawn, because if we're going to say you can only spawn up to 20 monsters per dungeon, and every time a monster spawns, it reduces that variable by 1. So if it ever hits 0, so there's no more monsters to spawn, then we don't. So we don't need a loop then. Right? Yeah, I don't think we need a loop. So the reason why I'm thinking we don't need a loop. So it sets this between -3 and +3. It checks to see if you are a positive integer, then that means it's spawning a monster. So then it checks to see, are there monsters left to spawn? If there are, then just continue down the line. If there aren't, though, then let's do another random variable between 0 and -3. So basically, if it picks to spawn a monster, but then there are no more monsters to spawn, then it says, okay, try spawning either an item or a empty room. So then we'll say if you are at less than or equal to 0, then check to see if the item spawn is greater than or equal to 0. Or should we just keep this positive? Yeah, we'll do the items and the monsters positive. That'll be fine. So if you are less than or equal to 0, right? Is that right? No. Okay, I was thinking weird. If you are greater than 0. So if there are still monsters to spawn, then just move along. Yes. And then it just jumps down here, starts doing its normal thing. Okay, yeah. We're in the right. Wanted to make sure we're in here. Okay, so if that's the case, then here we're going to change the variables. We're going to sub the monster spawn by 1 because it's going to spawn a monster. Yes. Okay. And then let's actually just, I kind of messed that up. So let's copy and paste that. Okay, so then if the item spawn is greater than 0, then this is going to spawn an item, so subtract it by 1. And then if this is also, yes. So should we put this in the else handler of that one? Oh, that's the else handler. We don't need an else handler. This is saying if you are greater than 0. This is saying if you are less than 0. Maybe we should have... Yep, let's have that in an else handler. Okay, so if you're greater than 0, do this. Well, no, because we need you outside of the else handler so you can do this. Well, then let's do this. Label spawn stuff. We'll just create a very generic label. So if you are equal to that, set that to that, and then jump to label spawn stuff. Okay, but then if you're not, then set it to -3 to 0, so it still has a chance to spawn an empty room, but most likely an item. Okay, so then over here, if you're less than 0, and so long as there are items to spawn, then spawn that, jump to spawn stuff. But if you're not, then just set you to 0. So if there's no items, no monsters, just empty room. Yeah. Okay, so that will limit the amount of items and monsters that can spawn. So over here, when you spawn in, let's do a per... Yes, let's make this specific to the dungeon you're in. So, in dungeon number 1, how many rooms are there? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 40. Okay, so there's 40 rooms. Now, should we say there can be up to... Should we say there can be up to as many items and monsters as there are rooms, but split evenly? So if there's 40 rooms on the floor, make it so there can be 20 items and 20 monsters. I think so. I think we'll do that. So you, control variables, set items to 20 and monsters to 20. Yes. Yeah. Is this going to change anything at all? I'm just thinking about... So I'm thinking about the RNG here. So this is setting 20 items max in the dungeon, 20 monsters max on the floor. But it's not changing the amount that are spawning here. Because this is still saying there's a 3 in 7 chance that it spawns a monster or an item. So is that even worth it? Is all of this logic, everything right here, will that even affect anything? I mean, it does. It does make it so there can't be 50 monsters and only 2 items and then 8 empty rooms. It does set it so there can only be 20 max. So, I mean, that is good. Yeah, we'll keep that logic. It does mean that you could potentially, as you go throughout the dungeon, run into less. But that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so where is it? Which variable? Because I was just thinking about the traps, right? So this is if it's a monster. This is if it's an empty room. So if it's an empty room, set that. If you're equal to 0, set it to... Yes. So let's create a comment. Set the first number lower to have more empty rooms with no traps. So the reason why I'm leaving this comment is because right here. So this is where we can affect how many traps are in empty rooms. So if we were to set this to -10 or 9, it would then say spawning traps. Well, right now, since we only have 1 trap, spawning a trap is now a 1 in 10 chance. If we set this higher, like say -1, it's now a 1 in 3 chance. So there's 1, 0, -1. Yeah. So a trap would spawn with a 1 in 3 chance. So I think instead of doing a 50-50 split, we're going to do a 33.333% chance that it spawns a trap. So, because I don't want the traps to be super common. I don't want them to be uncommon, but I don't want them to be super common where every single empty room you're entering seems to be a trap. Okay, so I think that's good. So let's come over here. And map 2. Oh, excuse me. How many rooms do we got? We got 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 44, 42, 43, 44. Okay, so there's 44 rooms on this floor. So we'll just do it, set it to 22 right now. And I'm just doing a even split right now, but eventually we can make it so some dungeons have more monsters and some have more items, and yada, yada, yada. Okay, and then dungeon floor 3 has 6, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 45. I mean, I guess I can have uneven numbers, but that's kind of weird. So let's just make this more monster heavy, slightly. So, there we go. Yes, that should be good. Okay, we have now set a limiter on the amount of items and monsters that can spawn. It's not changing the frequency at which they spawn. It just makes it so you can't have, if you're unlucky enough to have 20 monsters spawn in the first 20 rooms you go, you're done with monsters. You don't have to worry about those anymore. You're good to go. All right, so that is good. We have now limited that. Happy, fantastic day. Save that. Let's come over here. I think that was a thing we put in here. Yes. Limit amount of items that can spawn on floor. I guess we can say items / monsters that can spawn per floor. Now, no, I want to say amount. Thanks, Edge. I appreciate it. So, it will still potentially give you more items, just because when you kill a monster, you have a chance to spawn an item. But I think for now, That's fine. That's good. We're going to balance it eventually as we go through. So, a mini game to disable traps. I think it'd be fun to have some mini games when you run into a trap room. Have a mini game that you can use or go through instead of just having the deck save throw. Because the deck save throw is fine, but I think it'd be more fun to have some type of mini game that you can play to disable the traps. So, before we do that, let's put that back. Make traps only trigger once. So, we need to figure out a way to make it so the traps only trigger once when you go into the room. Yes. All right. So how are we going to do this? Well, that is a great question. Let's see how they're triggering right now. Okay, so that's the room decoration animations. I think it's in here. Sigil, buttons, spawn monster, spawn items, spawn decorations, spawn room traps. Okay. So let's do... So this is just saying else if player's location plus 920. So if the room trap plus player's location. So if you're entering room 1 and room 1 is a trap, if you're equal to 1. And what we're going to do is it shows the picture, it sets the how much damage the trap is going to do to you, how high you have to roll to evade the trap, waits for 12 seconds, and then turns on the saving throw trap. Okay. So basically, what we need to do is we need to have an else handler, and we need to copy and paste that. So, we can go off of variables, and we could go in the opposite direction. Yeah, we could do that. So how would we do that? So in the else handler, if you are equal to -1, so we just flip from positive to negative. That way, yeah, and then we just don't do any of that. So, basically the idea would be, yes, the idea would be if you, okay, so we're not going to handle the logic here. So the idea is, if you're at a +1, right? +1 spawns the spikes. So it shows the picture. It, what the? That was weird. Sorry. My YouTube chat, it shifted the whole screen. That was bizarre. So if you are at a +1, it spawns trap 1, which is the spikes. And then we can go off of if you're trap 2, it spawns this, trap 3, yada, yada, yada. But if you are at -1, it still spawns the trap, so it shows it on screen, but it's disabled. So negative integers is a disabled trap, positive is an active trap, which then needs to run through all of that. Yes, but instead of having all of that, let's do... Ooh, okay. We can maybe make this a little bit more efficient. So instead of doing... So if you're equal to 1, do that. Okay, how are we going to make this more efficient? We could say if you're equal to, because it shouldn't matter if you're equal to -1 or +1. So let's do this. We need to copy this else handler. And then in here, let's create another conditional branch script. If you're equal to 1, do all of that. But then what we're going to do is copy that. And then in here, we're going to say if you are equal to +1 or if you're equal to -1. And then we can delete that. So basically, this is just saying if you're trap number 1, whether you are disabled or enabled, show the picture. Yeah. But then only if you are enabled will you set the attack, set the AC, and turn on the saving throw. I think that should be good. Yeah, I think that should be good. So then, when are we going to set it as disabled? Right now, we've got the saving throws. This one is the saving throw trap. I think we can just, in here, set the variable of... Crap, I forgot to... I forgot to see which one that was. Variable... Yes. Hold up now. Are we already utilizing negative traps? Crap, I think we're already using negative numbers. So this is if the player's location is not equal to sigil room. And if you're less than or equal to 0. Crap. I think we're already using negative integers. But for why? What are we using them for? So if the player's location is not equal to sigil room, so if you're not in the sigil room, then if the player's location, so if room trap plus player location, so if room trap is less than or equal to 0, then it's setting it to -1. Okay, so I think we were using these negative numbers to say if... I think this is saying, hey, if there is a trap in here, or if there was no trap in here, if it's an empty room, then just set it to -1. Okay, so yeah, so if it doesn't spawn a trap in the empty room, it's then saying, hey, don't ever spawn a trap in this empty room. Okay. We can go in the opposite direction. We could do like starting at 100, because I don't think we're ever going to have more than 100 traps. It's a lot of traps, and we don't need that many. Honestly, I'm thinking we're probably going to have like 5 max. But I say if we go up to 100, that would leave more than enough wiggle room so we can have 99 traps. Yes. So, instead of going off of negative numbers, let's do this. So, else. So this is basically saying, if there is no trap, tell it to never spawn a trap. But, if there is a trap, if you are equal to 1, which means you're a trap, or if you are equal to 101, which means there was a trap, but it's disabled. So if you're equal to 1 or 101, then show the picture. But if you're enabled, do all that stuff. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay, next then we need to say over here in room trap, so it waits for 20 seconds. Well, 20 frames, not 20 seconds. That'd be a long time to wait for the trap to spring. 20 frames. Let's do... Yes. Okay, let's come in here, grab this stuff. So if you are... Yes, so we just need a very simple else handler. So we're going to say conditional branch. If the room X trap is set to 1, then set it to 101. Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. And again, we're probably only ever going to have 5, maybe 10 at most traps. So I'm just going to have to duplicate this every time. So let's create a comment. Set room trap to disabled. Okay. We may also switch where this is at. Let's move this. So this is if you fail. This is if you fail. This is if you're successful. Okay, we're going to put it at the very end. So this is whether or not... Yeah, so this is saying... Because whether you fail your dex save throw or whatever we eventually turn it into, if it springs or not, it is now disabled. And that's it. Okay, so let's test that and see if our absolutely bonkers code actually works. Hello, Sigil. We do not need you. We just need a trap room. Of course. Found an empty room, but no traps. Okay, that's fine. Be nice if I had a little bit more attack, but 'tis a-okay. Oh, crap. Ugh. Why? There we go. Really? No extra strength? I probably also eventually... Oh my gosh, we're gonna die. We're gonna die in the dungeon. I just want to find a trap room. Please. Just show me a trap room. Oh, there we go. Blackjack. That'll get us through. There we go. Okay, so we can't heal. That's fun. Oh, wait. This may be a little cheesy because I think I broke it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the healing is still broke. Okay, all right, here we go. So we pass it. That's great. Clicks. We're done. And if we leave, then if we come back, it shouldn't spring again. Hey, there we go. But it still shows. So there is the trap, but it's disabled. We're good to go. Perfect. Okay, so since that's working, that is fantastic. We could add a different graphic to show that it's disabled. But I think for now, we're going to call that good. That's working. We can now properly disable traps. So it won't just constantly try to kill us every single time we try to walk into that room. So, happy day. Okay. I'm really glad that was a soft hand. I mean, it was a soft hand. It was a blackjack, so that sucks. I want to see if we can find one more trap room, though. Because I just want to make sure if there are 2 traps spawned in the dungeon, that disabling the first one won't disable the second one. It shouldn't, according to the code, if everything is working right. But that's why I want to find another one, because I want to make sure that everything is actually working right before we move on to the next portion of the traps. Okay. Okay, we have to go through here. We pass. Fantastic. We're going to pass every single time, but if we leave and then come back, and it's still disabled. Oh, yes. Perfect. Oh, that. Okay, good. Whew. It's disabled. Fantastic. Okay, so That means we can disable traps properly, which is great. So we need to make a way so that we can, instead of just doing a dex saving throw, we've got little puzzles to solve to disable the traps. So what are we thinking? What kind of puzzles? If you've got any ideas for quick little puzzles, you can drop that in the chat. A few that I'm thinking are little. Let's do this. We're gonna do on the overlays. Yes, let's hide level up. Let's create a new folder called Trap Puzzles. So first one I'm thinking is, oh man, there's so many. So we could do the 3x3. What would you call it? 3x3 puzzle game. So basically, here's what it would be like. So let's actually grab the cover, hide that, paste that. There we go. So this one I'm thinking would be one of those. It's like those sorting, like the little sorting puzzles, right? So basically, the idea is when you go in, so you enter the room, there's a trap, right? Oh no, there's a trap. It pulls up some type of little puzzle. I'm wanting to keep it very short. Like, I want to make sure this is something that most people can do in less than 10 seconds, right? So you could have where you have to rotate something, rotate like glyphs and things like that to line it up. You've also got like the little 3x3 puzzles. So you're basically like sliding these little puzzles around, like little pieces around to create a complete pattern. We could do like little grids of dice where you have to line them up properly. You could also, we could also implement allowing the use of dice. So you just kind of have to decide, like, do I use my dice to like put them into whatever it is and keep the trap from going up? We could do that as well. It's not a terrible idea. I don't know how fun it would be, but anyway. So for now, let's just stick with some of the more simple ones. So one of the first ones I was thinking was the glyph thing. So let's do that. Let's create it. So let's create a board. Let's do piece 1. So let's just figure out how are we going to make this work. I'm kind of thinking we're going to do the same design as the dice, maybe. So let's get left section, player, consumables, stats, vitality dice. All right. There we go. We've got a dice. Perfect. Okay, we're going to get rid of that. So if we're going to make a board, so the idea of this puzzle is you click and it rotates 90 degrees. And you've got to, so think mini games of, oh my gosh, what is that called? Mini games of Among Us, right? Just like those little missions, right? They should be so simplistic that you don't need instructions. You see it and you should go, oh, that's what you're supposed to do. So that's how I want to keep it. Very short, very simple, nothing crazy. The idea of this one would be you tap, it lines them up, and as soon as it creates the pattern, you're good to go. So the best pieces I feel like to do this, should we do pieces like this or should we do diamond shapes? Let's do this. I'm going to open up, let's go to images, pictures. I'm going to open up, where's the rooms? So this will give us a idea of the size, right? So do that. Let's make it 25%. Yes. Okay, so let's delete that. We'll fill this in with black, just so we have a good idea of what it's going to look like. And then let's copy. Yeah. Yeah. We'll just copy this whole thing so far. A 3x3 puzzle game. Paste that in there. Well, we don't need the screen cover. We got board, piece, and the vitality dice. Let's move that wherever we can find it. What the crap is this thing? There it is. Okay. So then we just need to reduce this in size. It's free transform, nearest neighbor, 25%. Okay, so that is the size of the dice, which is good. So I think what we're going to do, because the thing is, I love the shape of this dice, but other pieces do not. Well, yeah, no. Other pieces don't really line up with this thing super well, because I guess if we move that there and then move that up, well, maybe. So the only thing is, if we're rotating these types of pictures, it's going to be, the shading is going to look a little weird on them, right? Which I guess is fine. Oh no, we want you on top. Okay, so then if we copy these two, we move them down there, and then we get two more, and we move you over to, yeah, right there. Move you up to there. So this is where I'm like, I don't know if this shape is necessarily the best. And I'm kind of leaning more toward just like a diamond shape, right? Because I don't want this to... Yeah, meh. No. All right, so let's do this. So, piece one. We're going to do... let's do this. All right, we're going to do the usual thing of I'm going to hide myself and mute myself while we work this out. So, let's do that. Okay. I think that looks okay. Looks like we got a thumbs up from Whiskey Tango Sharp. So yeah. So yeah, the idea is these will be at random rotation when the puzzle pops up, and you just have to complete the diamond shape. You complete the diamond shape. Yeah, you complete the diamond shape, and it gets you through. Bada bing, bada boom. You're good to go. I think that should be all right. I hope so. We'll see. We'll see if it's fun. We'll see if it's something we can implement. This is obviously going to be the most simple of the puzzles, so yeah. We'll see what happens. So with that, let's resize. Let's move these guys up into this corner. I mean, well, at this size, we can resize. 400. All right. Okay. And I can go in and fix the lighting. So I changed the lighting on here just to make it seem a little bit more as it should, right? Yeah, we'll figure that out later. Okay. So this is the proper design. It's going to change the rotation, which is good. Should be fine. We are going to need to make some more variables. So many variables. But we're going to need to make more variables for all these different pieces. That's okay. We're probably just going to have like 10 or so variables for the puzzles in general. But let's do new. Let's do... turn that off for now. Hopefully you haven't been able to hear that too much. You've got this, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm noticing that YouTube, as usual, is very behind. So I'm just going to send a message so you can hear me now. Eventually, you'll hear me in the stream, Whiskey Tango. Okay, so man, that's looking like some janky logo. Okay, let's go. You just gotta love it when it switches to my downloads folder versus going in here. All right, so we're going to do. Should we call it like? Because we want to have a good naming convention. Trap puzzle, and we'll do 1-1. Yeah, I think that should be good. Trap puzzle 1-1. Is that a good naming convention? Yeah, it should be all right, mate. Should be all right. Now, here's the question, though. Do we actually need all the individual pieces? No, we don't. And the reason being, do you know, I just realized, so in RPG Maker, things aren't really clickable, right? This is something that I've done with JavaScript to make things clickable. I'm realizing the way that I make them clickable is I create a square selectable area, right? I just say, hey, within this area, anything in here, if your mouse is in that area and you click, it will, it'll make it work, right? It activates, it triggers an event. The problem with having not triangles, but like rotated squares, is I cannot rotate my selection pattern per se. It's literally just taking XY coordinates of the top left corner and the bottom right corner XY coordinates. Uh-oh, am I losing the stream? That was weird. It looks like I lost it for a second, but it's back. My megabits per second is kind of going up and down on the stream. Anyway, Okay, so could be an issue because if we say, hey, anything within this square, if you click on it, but then it overlaps into there. So I mean, I could come down a bit, like down to here-ish. But then you're still in there, and then you're still going. Huh. That could be an issue with this shape. It is a more interesting shape. I like the diamonds, or the. Yeah, they're diamonds. They're diamonds. I like the rotated squares. But I'm almost wondering. See, I tried. Maybe there's some JavaScript I can use. Maybe. So, let me think about this. So, I'm basically telling the engine. So, the way that I'm making things selectable is in here, right? So, basically, I have two variables. I have the mouse X position and the mouse Y position. And I'm telling it, hey, if the mouse position is greater than or equal to 408, so top left corner, 408, and that's the X. And then the Y, if you're equal to 628, so this is grabbing the topmost left part of the bounding box. And then we're saying 632 X and 692 Y. It's basically taking this box, right? And it's saying anything in here is clickable. But it's creating a square. So I'm wondering if I can say, hey, take this, but then rotate it 45 degrees. So it creates a square, rotates it 45 degrees, and then anything in that bounding box is clickable. I don't know how I would do that, though. I'm sure there's a way in JavaScript to do that. I just don't know how. So I think maybe what might be best is changing the shape. We don't have this be these diamond shapes anymore. Yeah. Because I don't want the player to get confused if they're clicking here on it, but then it's rotating this. I don't want the player to get confused / frustrated because they're like, well, I clicked here, but it activated this one. So, what we could do. Yeah. So maybe what we do instead, we're going back to the drawing board. We're changing this back down 25%. Okay, let's come up with a new shape that is more fitting for our square bounding box. So let's do pieces 2. Let's create a new shape, a new layer to create the new shape. So if we do something like, so how big is this? This is 16, so that's probably close to like 14. Okay, so if we do something like that, and if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe we do that instead. Instead of creating that, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's not how you create that shape. Okay, so let's do 14. There we go. What would this be? A hexagon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 5. go with something more like this. Yeah. Not terrible. Because then basically the bounding box could be... Let's see, where are we? So we're right there. So if we went into, say, here, that could be an okay bounding box. We could also do to here. But we could go out to that far. And it still shouldn't be overlapping with the other boxes. So then how are we going to... Let's do this. Let's make it look nice, just to make sure we've got what we want. So then that shade over here. Oh, and then the darkest on this side. And then the slightly darker over here. Yeah. Okay, I think that's fine. So then the shapes, this could also open up for different patterns too. So essentially, what we could do, so let's call this piece 1. Okay, so if we were to move this up over to here, and then let's say, for example, we were to grab from here over. Yes, if we did that, if that was the bounding box, and then we move the bounding box up over here. Okay, so there is some overlap, but I don't think anyone's going to be clicking in this area here. And if you're clicking right here to rotate this one or this one, maybe that's user error. Okay, maybe that's user error. I think most people are going to be going for the center, right? So we could still reduce this by a pixel. Because then that would just go up to there. There would be no overlap, but if you're clicking on the sides, it's not going to work. So, I mean, yeah, we could do that. I think this will be a more forgiving shape as far as the bounding boxes go. Yeah, I think it'll be a more forgiving shape. So let's delete. So if we're doing this, then let's get piece 1. Let's do this, piece 0. So this is going to be the blank piece. And then let's do piece 1. Let's hide the old pieces. Yes. So piece 1. So if we just do kind of like what we were doing on the old one. So we're going to have the shape coming down. It comes down to there. Okay. So just for testing purposes, and kind of have that expand out that way. Yeah, I think that's all right. Okay, so let's add all of our patterns and all that fun stuff on these sides. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all right. So then we would just have piece 2. Why did that? Okay. So let's rotate that 90 degrees. Piece 3. And piece 4. Okay, so yeah, so the idea is we need to recreate the pattern. Right. We could also, well, that'll be for a different thing. For now, let's just see if we can get this working. But well, just really quick, just because I want to kind of show where my thought process is going, where we could go with this, is we could also do things like this. We're on piece 4. Well, piece 5. We would do... And then on piece 4... Yeah. So we could do stuff like this as well. So it wouldn't just have to be the 4 pieces. We could add more pieces, switch things up, make it so that you have to... Yeah. Anyway. But that will be for eventually when we want to start creating more difficult puzzles. Sorry, I really need my shot of caffeine there. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to resize back up to 400%. We're going to grab piece 1, come back over here, and on this, we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to paste. Okay, so that's piece 1. Piece 2 is going to go right there. So the only thing that's going to kind of suck is the lighting on these pieces, because it looks like it's catching light on the different sides, right? But as you rotate them, since they're just images, it's not going to do any of that. So that will be fine, though. It'll be fine. I'm sure. Okay, this is pieces. Let's center this, because the idea is it'll just be completely centered. Perfect. And then should we create some type of... Yeah, let's create some kind of backing for it so it's not like this. So left section, let's grab the player's frame. Okay, and then on here, let's zoom in. We shall cover these up. Ooh, cover all of that up. And then with the frame, let's reduce it by 100 pixels. Sure. And then let's widen it by 200 pixels. Perfect. We just need to grab this. And transform. To there. Okay. And then let's center the frame. Okay. So on this, we're going to need a timer. So we want to say you have to solve this in X amount of seconds or else the trap springs. So we need a description and the timer. Okay. So we've got the pieces. Let's align the board. Whoop, what the? We'll call that back. Let's align the back to be centered. All right. And then center section. Card area. We'll just grab that text for now, because that makes it simple. We'll just say align the... what should it say? Is like a really brief... Because I want it to be extremely brief. Rotate and align the glyphs. Short and simple enough. Rotate and align the glyphs. And then let's add a timer. Let's grab the left section, player, consumables, the XP bar. That should be everything that we need. Let's get the pieces, the back. There we go. Okay. Oh, let's just make sure. So that is 25. That is 54. So that'd be 26. Okay. And then the XP bar, which is not technically the XP bar, but close enough. We'll just call this timer. Okay, let's get that out of the folder. Timer, okay. Yeah, I think that should be good. Let's grab the color palette. We're going to do orange. Do orange for the timer. I think that'll be good. Okay, so timer. Let's make this a little bit wider. Let's merge that down. Should we do... Let's make it 3 times longer. So we don't want it super long, but a bit longer.
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh, hi. You going down for your nap? Oh, hi. Do you want to say hi? Do you see yourself? Do you want to say hi? Say hi, everybody. Make sure to follow and subscribe. Yeah, you think so? All right, you gonna have a good nap? Oh, yeah, is that the microphone? Do you want to say hi? Are you done? Okay. Okay, have a good nap, okay? I love you. I love you. Bye. Okay, so the timer, we want to make sure. Yeah, I think that width should be good on the timer. So let's do timer back. We'll replicate that and do timer front. We'll fill that in with that. Okay. All right. That's good there. I don't think we need to write down the specific amount of time you have left. I think just having the bar depleting over time will be good enough. Yeah. Yeah, that should be good. That should be good. Okay, so then let's make sure we get this. Well, we'll just put that into a folder, call it timer. Let's make sure we get that lined up correctly. Do-de-do, and do-de-do. 58 is what? 20. What would that be? 25, 26, 27, 28, 29? Is that centered? 29? Now I feel like I'm second guessing myself. 58 divided by 2 is 29. Yeah, wow. Whew. I was going crazy there for a second. I was like, that. Yeah. Anyway, basic math. So much fun. When you're out of school for so long, you just, I don't know, little things like that. You're like, 58 divided by 2, 29. Yes. Okay. Anyway, so we got the timer, we got the pieces, rotate and align glyphs. We've got, okay, basic explanation. We've got the puzzle. We've got the timer. I don't know how we're going to indicate if someone fails other than just it disappears, which I think is fine. I think that should be all right. If you run out of time, it just disappears. Yeah, that should be all right. That should be all right. Okay, so we need to export all these pieces so we can get them in the game. So I think what we'll do... How many images do we have to work with here? Because there's never going to be a time when this is showing up when you have the cards to pull. So we can use the card picture layers. I think that'll probably be best. So I want to reduce as much as possible. Yeah, I want to reduce the amount of images needed as possible. So I think if we hide the pieces, hide the timer, so we can use the screen cover, the back, and the explanation. That will be its own group. So let's copy that. New, paste. So that'll just pop up. That'll be what shows there. They'll have the pieces and the timer. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what did we call this again? It was trap. Yeah. So trap, puzzle, 1-1. Okay, so let's do... We'll make this trap puzzle 1-1. Trap puzzle 1-1. So this will be the first image that it shows, plus the image pieces. And we should only need one piece, because the piece that we have, we'll just be rotating it. So let's make a new image, have that. Okay, and then trap puzzle 1, 2. Yes, 1, 2. Because then the timer, that will be a universal thing. So we will just have that there. Yes. Oh, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream, Loki. Or I guess I should say Loki Trickster. And that's another thing I need to still figure out, is getting the chat name colors figured out. I don't know if that's a thing that you, like, each user sets on Twitch themselves. I don't know. Some of the colors, though, on dark mode anyway, are a little difficult to read. Okay, so we've got the pieces that we need. I think we can start building out the puzzle. Loki's fine? Well, all right. We'll go with Loki then. Okay, so let's start building out this puzzle. Yeah, I don't need to do that. So, we've got the saving throws here. I think we kind of build off of that. Yeah. So I try and keep like groups of events just so I kind of remember where things are. So let's do trap puzzles. So, how are we going to do this? If you are a trap, instead of turning on saving throw trap, we're going to turn on. So that's switch 38. Saving throw trap. Let's turn on trap puzzle. Now this is going to be temporary, because eventually probably what we'll do is use variables so that we can define which trap puzzle it is. But for now, we'll just turn on trap puzzle. So turn on trap puzzle. If trap puzzle is on, let's have all the initialization here. So before you turn on, we don't need to worry about... Actually, we could probably use monster attack, monster AC. How many variables do we have? We've got 7, starting at 70. So we've got monster, HP, HP max, AC, attack. So we've got 4 variables to work off of. For now, that should work fine. We could actually probably also work off of monster X and Y. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 6 variables to work off of. Do we just work off of those variables? Or do we create a whole other block of puzzle variables? I think we work off of a block of puzzle variables. The reason being is because we're going to have lots of, well, not lots, but a various amount of other puzzles. And I could foresee us needing 10 or more variables. So what do we got here? These are the room traps. Yes. So right here, let's do puzzle timer and puzzle timer max. So we want to set the puzzle timer max Yeah, I think we'll set a different amount of time per puzzle. But for now, let's just set the max time. What would that be? We've got, if we want 10 seconds, that'd be 600. 600 frames. So 10 seconds. You've got 10 seconds to solve the puzzle. So set that, and then set the puzzle timer to whatever puzzle timer max is. Okay, perfect. And then we need to set a few things. So let's do variable. We're going to create a new variable after the traps. So let's set this up to 1000. Whew. So puzzle piece 1. Puzzle piece 2. For now, we're just going to have 4 variables for the puzzle pieces, because that's all we have. But eventually, we will be able to have about 20 variables in a single variable block that we can set those to. So you're going to be random between 1 and 4. Because depending on what variable the piece is, that determines its rotation. And it's either going to be 0, 90, 180, 240. Yeah. Okay. So I think that should be right. I do want to make sure that we never set it to the correct rotation in the beginning. So let's do. So the rotation 0. This is rotation 0, or rotation 1. 1 is 90. 90, 180. Wait, no, it's 90, 180, 260, 240, 360. Yes. Right? Just want to make sure I'm getting these rotations right so I don't mess things up later. Okay, so let's say piece number 1 is the very top. Top piece is piece number 1. Okay. So this rotation, so maybe we do just rotation 0. 270. Yes, thank you. 270. I was like 260 is not right, but I'm like, what would it be? Yes, 270. 90, 180, 270, 360. I guess 360 is back to 0 though. So let's do, this is rotation 0. But then this is a negative rotation, right? Nope, that's negative rotation. Okay. So let's do then. So puzzle piece 1 can never be 1. Because 1 would be. You know what? We'll worry about that later. For now, let's just set puzzle piece 1, 1 through 4. And puzzle piece 4. I guess I could have just done 981 through 984. 981 through 984. 1 through 4. There we go. Okay, there we go. So it's going to set the random rotations. Bam. And then, once it sets those rotations, we need to show the pictures. So I think we're waiting. Yeah, so the wait time was in here so that you can, because I want people to see, we wait for 1/3 of a second so you can see, like, okay, I'm in a trap room. Best of luck on your game. Looks fun. Dropped in to show some support. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you dropped by. Sometimes a little bit of support is definitely needed on the stream. So yeah, I really appreciate it, Whiskey Tango. Thank you so much. So we're waiting the 20 frames. So we still want to have that in here. So first thing, we wait 20 frames so that it gives just a little bit of time for the player to see, okay, I'm in a trap room. Yes. I know the grind all too well, brother. It's a journey. It definitely is a journey. And this is definitely not my first project I've ever worked on. This is my first public project I've ever worked on. So it's been interesting, but I like it. I enjoy it, and this is hopefully so that I can hold myself accountable and not drop off. So hopefully this actually holds me accountable and I finish this one. That's the hope anyway. So let's grab showing pictures. Okay, so we're going to use the card image layers, which starts at 23. So 23 is going to be, 23. We don't need a variable for that. So let's just show picture 23, trap. No, was it trap puzzle? Yeah, trap puzzle. Okay, so that's the initial image. Shows that. And then this is where we need to show the other images. We need to set the rotation, but it can rotate the images pretty quickly. So let's do. Are we going to actually have it just. No, because animating the rotation. We're just going to have it be when you click it and then release, it pops up and rotates instantly. Yes, we'll do that. So if that's the case, should we have different images or just let's just for now, let's just rotate the images. So we don't need that. We're just going to show a picture. We're going to keep it simple. We're just going to show the picture. So we've got this picture. That is the default rotation. It's angled like that, right? So where are we showing this picture? That is a great question. Let's find out. Piece number 1, you are showing at 640 by 304. Okay. Image 25 is showing at, excuse me. All right, we're back. You are showing at 696, 360. 696, 360. And then 26, showing that. Showing at 640 by. What the? There we go. You are showing at 640 by 416. And 27 is showing at 584 by 360. Okay, so that should show all the puzzle pieces. Next, we need to rotate them based on the variables that we have set. So let's come in here, conditional branch. If the variable puzzle piece 1 is equal to 0. Where is that script? I know that I was doing this somewhere. Set the picture rotation. Nope. That is just rotating the picture. We don't want to rotate the picture. We want to set the rotation. And I cannot, for the life of me, remember what that is. So let me just pull that up really quick. RPG Maker MV script call list. Rotate. Oh, no, because this is still just rotating the picture. Okay, so I know I have this somewhere. Where is that? Where am I setting the rotation? Nope, that's just showing pictures. Okay, so that's changing the name. Death, next level, test dungeon. Let's do. I know that I have this saved in another project of mine. So let's go project hunting for a little bit. Let's do this. Let's grab. Where would it be? Planetary Conquest? Yeah, sure. Let's pull up another project of mine. I've got a lot of them. There are a lot of them. Okay, so old stuff. Where would it be? Main menu, backup, backup. There we go. That is the script call we're looking for. Perfect. Hey, Scene, welcome back. I feel like every time I say that, I say it wrong. And I want to say you told me the correct way once. Is it scene or sign? I am so sorry. I feel like I butcher your name every single time. Okay, so we've got the rotation. Let's come over here. So if you are 0, we don't want to rotate it. I guess what we could even do, well, just for simplicity's sake, we'll clean this up a bit later. We'll make it more efficient later. For now, we're just going to go extremely basic. If you're equal to 0, you're doing nothing, right? Else, if you're equal to, well, actually, if you're doing nothing, then we don't need to. What am I doing? If you're equal to 1, then we're going to set you to 90 degrees rotation. If you're equal to 2, we're going to set you to 180. If you're equal to 3, we're going to set you to 270. And then it's just 360, right? Yeah, 90, 180, 270, 360. That's just back to 0, isn't it? We're rotating at 90 degrees, right? 0, 90, 180, 270. Oh, no. No. We just need the 3. Jeez, I don't know why we were thinking, because yeah, 360 would just be all the way back around. Duh. Okay, so this is picture layer 24. Do we want to set these to 24, 24, and 24? All right. And we just need to do that 3 more times. So, puzzle piece 2. We'll set 25. Puzzle piece 2, 25. And puzzle piece 2, 25. Now, this is just the initialization, so it's going to look a little messy. 26. But it should be all right. I hope. And last but not least, we are doing puzzle piece 4. 27. 27. And 27. Okay, so that is setting the rotation of all those images. Perfect. And then I'm going to turn on self switch A. A is on, parallel process. Okay, so now let's come in here. Let's just grab the draw button script just to make it simple. Okay, so let's make it so you can rotate image 1. So did we decide we're going to go this far out? No, that's too much. Let's just stick within these confines. Yes. Yeah, let's do that. For now. We'll figure it out later if we need. So you are 608, 272. 608, 272, and there. So you are 672, 336. And 336. Okay, so if you're within there, I'm going to do piece 1. So we don't need to show a different picture. We just need to say, if you're pressed, we're going to move the picture. So don't do turn on anything. Don't show the picture. We are just moving image 24. Yeah, 24. So setting you to center, setting you to 640 by 304. Let's just set you to like 95% in a matter of 5 frames. Okay. And then if you are released, yeah, don't turn that off. If you're released, move the picture back to 100%. Okay, so then you, yes, if puzzle piece 1 is equal to 4, if you're equal to 4, nope. We can't have conditional branches. And we're going to go in reverse. So let's do this. I know this is seeming a little weird, but bear with me. So let's copy those. So if puzzle piece 1 is equal to 1, set the rotation, and then control variables, add 1 to puzzle piece 1. And then if you're equal to 2, do that, add another 1. If you're equal to 3, do that, add another 1. If you're equal to 4, set the rotation back to 0. And then set you to 1. Okay, so because it's already setting 1 through 4. So if you're equal to 1 already, set it to 2, set it to 3, set it to 4, and then if you're 4, set you back to 1. This is so you can rotate the pictures, good to go. Now I think what we should do is here, let's exit the event processing after that. Yes. Okay, so yeah, so if you're pressed, there, moves the picture. If you move out of there, it raises the picture. If you move back, it lowers it. Okay. Perfect. So let's do this. I think this is what causes... Yes, so you're the one that does all the trap stuff. We'll figure that out later. For now, though, we just need to go find a trap. Let's come in here. We're going to reduce the amount of items and monsters there are to hopefully get a few more traps so we can test this out and make sure it looks and feels okay. Let's give it a try. Jeez. This dude is wrecking me. All right. Not a great monster to step out of the room for. Okay, come on. Just give me a trap. It's literally a 1 in 3 chance. Shouldn't be that hard. Really? Jeez, come on. I know that I didn't break the trap spawning. There we go. Holy smokes. Okay. Very broken stuff right now. I've accidentally put the puzzle below the image frame of the room. So that's good. But You can see it rotating down there, so that's a thing. Jeez. Okay. Didn't really think about any of that. Crap. All right. I probably should have come in here and checked my handy dandy pictures that I have. Yes. So the POV section is 37 through 48. Crap. That's okay. That is okay. So the floor. Okay. So it's showing. What image layer are the monsters on? Let's go with that. So it's a sigil. So the monsters are. Okay, so spawn monster. Image 47. Okay, so the monster layer is image 47. But I believe the trap is also 47. Spawn traps. Show picture. Oh, 38. Okay, so the. Okay. So the traps are spawning on layer 38. And POV is 37 through 48. So I think that means the room is 37, the trap is 38. So I should be able to do 39. So if I change this, show trap. Okay, so 38. Okay, so it's just over here. So I should be able to do 39. And then 40, 41, 42, and 43. But that also means we need to come in here and change you to 40. Ah, crap, I have to change a lot of things. Man. I apologize. Bear with me. 40, 40, and 40, and 40, and 40. And then over here, we need to do 40, 40, 40, 41, 41. But with this should fix all of the layering issues so it doesn't look as broken. 42, 41, 41, 41, 42, 42, 42, and 43, 43, and 43. Okay, perfect. That should fix those layering issues. Hopefully. Guess we'll find out. Well, we'll find out when we can find a trap room. Maybe I should just disable monster and item spawning. Oh my gosh. I thought if I just reduced it to a 1 in 3 chance, but never mind. Set it to a random number between 0 and 0. Make it always an empty room with a 50% chance of it being a trap room. Oh, we're spawning on floor 3 this time. Okay, empty room, trap room. Align the glyphs. Okay, well that... It works. It is working, technically. Yeah, it is technically working. For some reason, though, why does the first one... I think that might be just an issue with where I'm starting. Right? Excuse me? How did an item spawn? Okay, so right now, let's just check this really quick. Let's scroll all the way down. So piece 1 is equal to 4 right now. Why would it be 4? If you're 4, you should be 1 right now. Oh wait, no, because 1 is like that. Well, like that. So 1 is like that. 2 is like that. So then 3, 4. Okay, that's fine. So 4. Okay, so there's some discrepancy here. So 1, 2, 3. So 1 is 90 degrees. 1. Okay, that's why. That's why. So if you're already that number, what you need to do is do that, do that, do that, and do that. There we go. Okay, that should fix that. I wasn't taking into account if it was already that rotation, it shouldn't be setting that rotation. Why is it spawning a dice in the... Why? It should be spawning 0 items right now. Thank you. Okay, so then we click. So we hold down, click. There we go. Okay, so that is working. And then if we let go... Ah, there we go. Perfect. So then you just have to align the glyphs. Fantastic. Okay, so with that... With that. So that's piece 1. Perfect. Working for the most part as intended. Let's do, though, let's move it down 90 just to have... Whoa. Okay. That was weird. Let's have it move down 90. I just want to have just a little bit more movement. I mean, the 90 is fine. Wow, what is... I said no items. Why are we spawning items? Okay. Okay, I think that's good. You hold it down, goes down to 90, you let go, it pops back up. I know this is just kind of adding a little bit more stuff, but what if we do... Hear me out. What if we do this? When you press down, quad out. When you release, we're going to do... Wait, no, not on 23, though. We're doing 40. So quad out. And then when you move back, we're doing 40 back out. Yeah. It'll just make it a little bit more animated in its movement. Let's try that. I mean, I like the snap back into place, but what? Why is it snapping so aggressively? When you're released, do I just need more time? Maybe? Let's set it to 15 frames. Because back is what we want, right? Because if it's set to back... No. Okay, what did I do wrong? Picture easing, forward, 40, back out. Quadric out, back out, back out. Oh, well, that's a problem. That's why that wasn't working. But what? We're just going to call it good. We're just going to not worry about that. We're going to not worry about that at all. We're just going to set you to 5. Set you to 5. We'll call that good. Okay. So, with that, that should be good. You should be able to press the thing, right? Should be able to press the thing. Perfect. Okay. So, we just need to make it so you can rotate the other 4. And then we need to make the timer work. Yes. Let's come back over here, though, because I just realized make traps only trigger once. We did that forever ago. Mini game to disable traps. After deck saving throw, but we're not going to have it be after deck saving throw anymore. We're just going to do mini game. We're going to call it puzzles to disable traps. Okay. That's what we're creating right now. Puzzles to disable traps. So, This is setting all of them correctly. Perfect. Okay. So then, so we need to have it take into account when it is done. So let's do this. So when you let go, it rotates. Yada, yada, yada. When are we going to check to see if the puzzle is correct? We could do a new release. If you're released, but it exits the event processing. So what if instead of exiting event processing, we reverse these? So it checks for 4, 3, 2, and 1 first. Nope. So we've got to have the 1 before the 4. Sets it +1. Oh no, but then that has to be after that. So I'm basically trying to figure out a way without having the event processing get triggered. I want to have it to where. Okay. So if you're equal to 1, 180. If you're equal to 4, set it to 90. If you're equal to 3, set it to 0. If you're equal to 2, set it to 270. So the 1 needs to be after everything else, though. But the problem is that the 4 has to be after 1 because you're setting it to 1. So you would have to be after that. So okay, so if you're equal to 3 plus 1, then that's okay. All right, so we just have to have the exit event processing anyway. Let's just set all that back to how it was. So I think the check will just be here, right? So we'll have the check. So if you're equal to 1, rotate the picture. Puzzle piece 1 plus 1. Yes. All gone. Tragic. Now I have to drink water. Oh well. Okay, so we need to check if the player has gotten the trap right. So we could have it turn on a different switch. We could also just have it check here on the page. Trap puzzles 1. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have to break out the puzzles into different pages. Okay, I don't know. Yeah. So if we're going to do that, let's do before it exits the event process. We need to check the puzzle. So to do that, if we're going to check the puzzle, let's do that actually. Instead of exiting event process, I'm glad I had this idea. So jump to label, check, I don't know, puzzle, check puzzle. So you're just going to, instead of exiting event process, you're just going to jump to check puzzle. Now check puzzle is going to be all the way here at the bottom. So we're going to do label, check puzzle. Okay. So then down here, we're going to check conditional branch if the variable puzzle piece 1. So what do they need to be set to? Let's do this. Let's do this. Instead of doing that, let's do this. So you are piece 1. So we just need to copy you, paste you. So then piece 2, Just got to go through and re-update all of these so they're affecting the correct things. Perfect. Let's do the next one. Nope. There we go. $608, $384. $672, $448. Okay, and then 42 is at 640 by 416. $640 by 416. $552, $328. $616, $392. Okay, piece 4. Whoa. You are 584, 360. 584, 360. 584, 360. $584, $360. Okay. That should be good. So let's give this a try. And we'll just see. So we should be able to rotate every piece now. That's good. Okay. So then that would be correct. Yep, that would be correct. I don't think there's anything. Yeah, I don't think anyone would be really confused by the shape you're supposed to make. I might have some kind of. I don't know. We might figure out some way to kind of show the player what it's supposed to be. But for now, that is what it's supposed to be. And right now, the variables are at 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So if we then come down here and we say if puzzle piece 1 is equal to 4, if puzzle piece 2 is equal to 1, puzzle piece 3 is equal to 2, and if puzzle piece 4 is equal to 3. So 4, 1, 2, 3. That should be the correct rotations. So let me just say if all of that is good, then we'll just wait, I don't know, 30 frames, and then we just erase pictures. What was it? 30, 40, 39? 39 through 40? 39 through 43. 39, 40, 41, 42, and 43. And then we're going to turn off trap puzzle and A. Okay, so then turn off switches, trap puzzle, and turn off self switch A. Okay, so that should just turn them off altogether. So that should be you finishing the puzzle successfully. You're not going to get damaged. The trap is disabled. Make sure. Now this is going to be untimed. So we can just come in here. There we go. We finished the puzzle. We can leave. And then if we come back. Why would you have me disable it again? Because room 10 trap should be set to 101. Room 10. You're still 1. Oh, okay. All right. All right. I think I see what's going on now. I see what's happening here. That's why. It's because it's being taken care of in the deck save throw, which we are not using anymore. So let's cut that. Let's come over here. And if you are successful, do that. So it disables the trap. Perfect. Okay. Whew. That was. I thought I had messed up big time there. I still don't know what I broke to make it so these items are still spawning. Oh, hey, look at that. Okay, there we go. So if we do that, finished, bada bing, bada boom. Then if we leave, we come back to the sigil, then we move back here, deactivated. Perfect. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's do. Actually. Well, no. We'll leave it at it. Because I was thinking, because this is, I want it to feel like a single player tabletop RPG where blackjack is combat, right? That's the goal. That's the plan. And so, yes, things are timed, but I kind of want to maybe, when you enter a room with a trap, you have an option to either try and disable it, just do a deck saving throw, and yeah. But we'll worry about all that stuff later. For now, it just gives you the puzzle to try and solve. So let's do this. We need to make the timer now. So If trap puzzle is on, actually, let's go to the initialization of the trap. Show down here. Great trap room. So it sets that. Okay, so we already have that being set. Perfect. So let's do this. So we're gonna have a trap timer that needs to be running, right? Okay. Oh, I was so confused. Oh, I looked at my camera and I was so confused. So I had this hand up like this, but down here I was rubbing my arm. But in the camera, my hand, so it's reversed. So this hand was on this side rubbing my elbow. But when I looked at the camera and I saw my hand on my shoulder, I was like, what is happening? My hand is on my elbow, not my shoulder. That was a trip for me. That was weird. Okay, sorry. So let's do this. So the trap timer max is equal to 600. Instead of doing this, let's do 660, 680. Let's do 680. The reason being, I want you to have 1 second where you can see the puzzle before it actually starts seeming to count down. You'll see in a minute why. Okay, so I just want to be working off of this same trap puzzle switch, right? So what we're going to do is create a new event down here, and we're going to call this puzzle timer. So if this switch trap puzzle is on, then parallel process, we are going to conditional branch. If the variable, there we go. If puzzle trap timer is equal to or less than 0, yes. So else control variables sub 1 from timer. Wait for 1 frame. Okay. And then if you're equal to 0, this is where the failure is going to come into play. So we already have that set up in here, which is all of this stuff. So turn off dice rolling, roll amount, turn on, saving throw. Okay. Saving throw animation, player dex mod. Okay, so this is where you fail. Turn off the rolling, all that stuff. We don't need to worry about that though. Move picture 96. Okay, so this is hiding those pictures. So we don't need that. We don't need that. We just need U through U. Okay. So we just need these guys. Let's come over here. Okay, so but it also needs to erase, and we already have all of that. Erase that. Let's also have a wait. We're gonna have a very short wait. So we wait for 20 frames. So as soon as you fail, and maybe eventually I'll have it like flash the timer or something like that so you know that the time is up. But it waits 20 seconds. So it erases the pictures, waits 20 seconds. Yes. Now so I already set this up. Saving throw trap. Okay, crap. Well, we can just change this to trap puzzle. And that'll be fine. Yes, that'll be fine. So, over here, waits for erase the pictures, waits for a little bit, and then it's going to animate the trap, turn on player being damaged. Failed deck save. I don't know why that's turning on. I don't know what that would be for. Failed deck save. It also does it in here, and that's with the monster. So what would be failed deck save manipulating? Rolling dice. So we got trap puzzle. Player damage. That's just player being damaged. Card draws, dungeon fog, POV transition, the animation, monster animation, and then that's the level up. I don't know what the purpose of failed deck save on is. I'm guessing it has something to do with the HUD. But we're going to delete that. We're just going to turn on player being damaged because the HUD should be showing. So the player gets damaged, spikes go down, and then we turn off trap puzzle. Turn off trap puzzle. Now here's the other thing though, is over here at the very end, when it does all this stuff, I need to do U. Set trap to disabled. Oh, I also need to turn this self switch off. So let's just copy all of that because we need to make sure we're doing that all properly too. So let's come down here. So yeah, so this sets the trap to disabled. You got hit. That's it. It's disabled. Turn off trap puzzle. But then we also need to turn off A. So let's turn yeah. Now I believe actually I don't think I have that in here. So gotta pull this up and we're gonna go back to RPG Maker MV script call list. And we're going to find self switches. So turn off self switch A for event 5 on map that. Yes, that is the script call we need. So let's come over here. And we're going to do script. So we want set self switches. So turn off A for event. Which event is this? This is event 3. No, that's map 3. Oh, yeah, this is event 3. All right, so event 3 in map 3. Simple enough. Event 3, map 3. There we go. 3 and 3A. Let's get rid of the comment. Okay, so set self switches 3A to false. Yes. We're also turning that off. Perfect. Okay, so with that, that should all run correctly, and that should be it. I hope. I guess we'll find out. All right. Here's a potential problem that I didn't even think about until now. If you have failed, it's running through all of this, right? But this is still running. So you could still technically be manipulating the pieces even after the timer is out. So let's do this. We've got to set this all in its own. Yeah. So if, no. If puzzle timer is greater than 0, then you can do all of this stuff. But if you're not, then you can't. Okay. Oh, wait. I don't need that. What am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? Get rid of that. Just do if the puzzle timer is equal to or greater than 1. Because if you're not, then just disable this page. Perfect. Fantastic. Okay. There we go. So, with that, we now... So the timer is doing all of this. So we need to create the timer, though. Which is fine. We can do that. So puzzle timer, 909. 909 and 910. Okay. 909 and 910. So I disabled that script for now because we want to be able to see everything here. So 909 and 910. Let's hide this so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to pull this up. Let's go find, wow, the sigil room right outside of our spawn. Not bad. Okay, I have definitely messed up the RNG somehow because there's no way. I mean, I know that there could be. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so let's do this. So we need to edit the HUD. Let's come in here. let's hide everything we don't need, and let's create a new image gauge. Crap, we need to make a new image gauge. Let's come over here to Photoshop. We need to export the image gauge. So we got the pieces, we got the timer. Here we go. Timer front, timer back. Let's copy you. New. There we go. Okay, this is in some random dude. HUD images. We're going to do. Nope, we need the backs. Backs. Okay, we've got puzzle timer back. All right. Fill that in, and we're going to do images, puzzle timer front. Okay. Let's come over here. We're going to do, let's close that, come back in here, pull you up, puzzle timer front, puzzle timer back, refresh, perfect. Let's surround it. And what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 5. Okay, so we're at 52 pixels. Should be 25, 26. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. What are we looking at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's right. It was 58, which was 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 29. 1, 2, 3, 1. There we go. Okay, so then the values. This is based off of game variables.value. It was 909. Was that correct? 909? I hope so. Let's see. Oop. Yep, 909. So current is 909. Max is 910. Refresh. Okay. So we want it to go to the left. Perfect. All right. And with that, we should be good to close that. Set this back to parallel. Okay, save. Let's give it a try again. Crap. I forgot. We only want to show that when switch 41 is on. All right, so let's come back in here. Let's hide everything else. Show only when game switches. Yeah, switches dot. Oh my gosh, come on. Switches dot value. Jeez, it is a Monday. Crap, what was that one again? 41. Switch 41 is equal to true. And if we refresh this, it should disappear. Perfect. So, then if we come over here, let's find... Okay, so that's showing up too soon. But yeah, it gives you a second, starts counting down. You've only got so much time to stop it. Then if we leave... Now it should stop that timer even in the background. 427. 427. Okay. Whew. So, that is correct. Now we just need to see it is showing it too soon though. Too soon. And that's because of I have that wait. I have that 20-second wait time before it shows all the images. So maybe instead of going off of the switch, let's create a new one. So come over here, create switches, turn on trap puzzle timer. Okay, so it turns that on, switch 42. All right, there we go. And then down here, we will turn off. Yeah. Turn it off there. And then also when you run out of time here, when you erase the images, also turn that off right there. Perfect. Okay, So then let's have that go off of switch 42 instead. So let's do, you are going off of switch 42. Refresh. Okay. So then let's give this a look-see. Shows that. Shows the timer. I think it's waiting just a little bit too long to actually start counting down. So let's do this actually. So if it's waiting too long, that's not a bad thing. I think we just need to set this to like 620. Yeah. So it turns on. Yeah, so that gives you like a third of a second to look at the puzzle, see what's going on. Yeah. Whoa. Sorry about that. Still getting used to having my microphone right here. Okay, so let's change that just a little bit, just to do a little bit of polish. Let's wait 6:30. I still think that maybe 10 seconds is going to be too long, at least for this specific trap. I don't think we need to wait quite that long. Okay, that feels good on the wait time. So let's wait here. Let's see what happens. We'll give it the 10 seconds. Everybody cross your fingers that it just works. Let's give it a try. Fingers crossed. Come on. Yeah, 10 seconds is way too long, especially for this kind of a puzzle. Okay. Couple things that I noticed. It didn't actually damage me. The thing popped up, I flashed red, but it didn't damage me. And I think it's because we're not setting the monster attack value. So we still need to do that. So I think I disabled that because I was like, we don't need this anymore. And then this popped back up, which it shouldn't do that. So let's come down here. Yes. So control variables, we need to set the monster, because it's going off of monster attack. So let's just set this to 1. I forgot to set that. So let's keep it at 1 so we can still get attacked, at least 1 damage. And then over here, I think the issue here. Is it? Because this should have waited. Because over here, it erases the pictures. Turns off trap puzzle timer. Player being damaged is on. Yeah, because this thing just like instantly reappeared. But why? Why would it instantly reappear? Trap puzzle. Okay. Well, there's a problem. Because this is only being a thing if that is that. So, let's do this. New page. If self switch B is on, this is to keep this thing from doing nothing. So, with that, let's come down here. Let's come up here, and we will turn B to true. Okay, there we go. Okay, save. We need to copy that, and we need to set it to false down here. False. Okay, that should be good. Let's give it a try, shall we? It's all the little bugs that just make it a little bit more difficult, but we should be good. I still want to find out why this is being bugged out and actually spawning items when it should just be spawning empty rooms, but that's okay. There we go. So it gives me a second. Blada bling, blada bloom. I just want to make sure that this is still working. Perfect. Now here's what I wonder. Here is what I wonder. Okay, it's still disabled. Good. Should we... We need to stop that timer from continuing. So let's turn off... So we want to disable this from happening. So what are we doing here? You, So if you are there, then we're waiting the 30 seconds, but we want it to pause the timer before it does any of that. How are we going to disable that event? I don't want to do too many more switches and things like that because it just is becoming ridiculous. We could do self switch. Let's do self switch. We're going to turn on that. So this, if self switch A is on for this guy. Now this is event 17 in room 3. So if you are successful, we're going to script turn on self switch. Crap. Is it map and then event? I think so. I think it's map and then event. So turn on A. Perfect. And then at the end, when you're doing all of this stuff, turn off self switch B for that guy. Yeah, that should be good. Hopefully. We'll make sure that the flow is actually correct. All right, so we come in here. Bada bing. Let's rotate those. It should stop the timer for the 30 seconds. Okay, perfect. Ooh, that's working. All right, there we go. So let's refresh that. Let's see if the failure is working. Actually, let's change, because we don't need 10 seconds. We do not need 10 seconds. Let's do 5 seconds. I guess that makes sense. We're cutting it in half, so we're going down to 300 and then 330. There we go. Okay. Let's pull that up. Let's see what we got here. Okay, then we let it do its thing. I feel like that timer feels better. Feels a little bit more like, I gotta get this figured out. We gotta get going. Oh, we've only got 5 seconds. And we fail. Yeah. I don't know, do we want to wait for like 10 frames? Maybe we wait for like 10 frames. Just so it's like just the tiniest bit amount of time to be like, yeah. Yeah, let's give that a try. We'll see. Just so you have like the just tiniest bit amount of time to be like, and the timer ran out. So you have a little bit of time for the timer starting, you have a little bit of time for the timer running out. I think that should be good. Bam. Yeah, I think that's good. You're waiting for 1/6 of a second, so it's not like there's any real amount of time. You're not going to feel like, oh, I could have gotten it if I just had a tiny bit more time. It's just enough to be like, the timer ran out, you're out of time. Sorry, buddy. But if we get it figured out, aha, and then it's disabled. Oh, that feels so good. Oh, I'm so glad that that works. Oh, it only took a couple hours, but we got it. We got it. And now, with this system implemented, we should be able to add a whole bunch of other traps. Well, traps, but with trap puzzles, so that we can disable them with puzzles instead of just doing a dexterity saving throw, which is fine. But again, eventually, I think I'm going to make it so that you do have a choice. It's like, do you want to do a dex saving throw? Do you want to do a puzzle? We'll see. Maybe we'll just stick with puzzles. We'll just call that good. The other thing I want to maybe implement, I want to, yes. So I want to make it so that, because right now I am left clicking to have it rotate, right? I think I want to add it so you can right click to have it go the other way. So basically, touch input is pressed, does that. If touch input is released, does that. But here's the thing. Can I actually check for that? I'm going to check and see. RPG Maker, MV, what is it? Touch input dot is released. I know that someone posted this somewhere. Is clicked, is hovered, is long pressed, is moved, is pressed, is released, is repeated, is triggered, is updated. Okay, that's MZ though. Force button press on mouse left/right click. Okay, so right mouse is just is canceled. That would make sense. So it's a lot to do on release though. And that's that on every single one. Crap. Well, it's not the worst thing in the world. I think what we're gonna do is, yeah, I really want. Okay, so here's what we could do. Let me just read through that again really quickly. So, pressed left mouse button or single touch. So that's touch input is triggered. Right mouse is canceled, and then you've got is released. So let's just try this. I just want to see. So you got, wait, what? Touch input is released, is canceled. I just want to see what happens. Because that would be wait. No. Actually, I misunderstood that. So is released is the correct way to go. So is released. Oh, there we go. Let's get some good music going. Okay, so is pressed. Crap. So I'm checking if you're pressed right here, not necessarily if you're pressed somewhere else. Okay. Crap. I mean, I can still check here. Is canceled. But so if canceled, if pressed. So I may have to have some kind of trigger or some type of switch to basically check if you are left clicking or right clicking. Because no, because then the released doesn't work. Well, we're not going to worry about it then. We're just going to say is pressed. Oh, wow. That's all sorts of good stuff going on there. All right, we'll just call that good. If you overshoot it, you just got to rotate it again. There's only 4 rotation angles, so I'm not that worried about people being like, oh, it overshot. I could also... We could add some type... No. We're not going to worry about that. We're not going to worry about it. I was thinking we could add some type of safety net where it just basically locks into place, right? So if it's right here, I couldn't click on it. But I think it makes more sense to just... There's no safety net. You have to figure it out, right? There we go. Okay. I think that's good. Yes, that is good. Okay, that was a very long process to get that working. But we got a puzzle to disable traps. So let's do add a new puzzle. Yes, we're going to put that above other things, though. Oh, limited amount of monsters that can spawn per floor. Oh, well, that's why. Okay, alright. Now I get it. So I had 2 cards. You had limited amount of numbers, limited amount of monsters. Limited amount of items, not limited amount of Wow. It's been a long day. Limit amount of items, limit amount of monsters. I technically did both of those today. So we've got add more decorations, add intro dialogue, add autoplay toggle, add a new puzzle. We're going to have that above that. The autoplay toggle, let's put that all the way at the bottom. So I think we might, well, I don't really have any ideas for decorations. So if anyone has any ideas for what kind of decorations we can put in the rooms, so like, for example, right now we've got, is it just decor? Or is it room decor? Got room. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. It's like right now we have got different colored bricks, we've got vines, and we've got the torches. And the cracked bricks, which I just realized I haven't really seen Decor 6 much. Have you? I think I maybe broke Decor 6. Maybe. Let's come down here. Spawn item. Spawn room decorations. Four. But it's not 4 because the cracks are Decor 6. So we've got Decor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it should be random number between 6 plus 1. Yeah, I think I broke that the other day. Empty. 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 Here we got a torch. We've got nothing. We got the vines. Torch. Cracked bricks. Okay, so I think I did break that then. So that's fixed now. So anyway, so yeah, decorations. I want to add some more. I'm just not sure what else to spawn or create. So if you have any ideas for room decorations, so it's things like cracked bricks. Oh my gosh, if I could find a room where more decorations are spawning. Vines, torches, things like that. So yeah, because I've got a torch on the left side, torch on the right side. I've got vines, different colored bricks, and cracked bricks. So eventually I think I might do things like actually different colored bricks, not just like different shade, like different tones like this, right? But actually different colors. So doing dark red bricks, brown, orange, green, things like that. So yeah, eventually we will add more of those, but I think for now we're just going to stick with what we've got. Yeah. I still really like that torch. I know I shouldn't be proud of it because there's not really much to that torch, but I am proud of it. Okay, well, I think we're going to call that good for today. We did so much with this freaking trap system. I know it doesn't look like much, but it's the pipeline, it's laying the groundwork, it's making sure that we can build off of that so that we can, create other traps. And this is extremely basic. There's not a whole lot to it. Eventually, we will do more stuff. But for now, that's what we've got, and it's working. Technically. It is technically working. So, all right, cool. Well, I think on that note, yeah, we will call it good for today. Yeah. It is kind of fun. In a weird way. It is kind of fun. I do kind of like it. And we'll figure it out. We'll get it more fine-tuned and all that fun stuff. But for now, gets the job done. All right. Well, I think on that, we'll just close that. We'll come over here. I think I already moved that out. Yes, so tomorrow we might make a new decoration if I can think of what would be fun to else put in there. Ooh, actually, before I forget, because I keep doing these things and I keep forgetting that I do them, and then I'm breaking stuff without even thinking about it. Wait a minute. Is that what's breaking it? It is. Okay, so that's why it was still spawning items even after I told it. Well, I thought I told it to no longer spawn, because this is what I set it to 0. I was like, yes, set the room to 0. So if it's greater than 0, and if monster spawn max is greater than 1, do that, spawn the stuff. Else, set it to -3 through. Okay. All right, I found why it was doing that. Oh well, you live and you learn. This is why notes are very important, and I just am so bad at putting those. Okay, so that should start spawning monsters again. It will continue to spawn items. This way, and I know while we're testing, it seems like the traps are very plentiful, which they kind of are while we're testing. That's because I turned off item and monster spawning. But when you've got monsters that are breaking up all the different rooms, and you're picking up items and you're figuring stuff like that out, I don't feel like it's not going to feel like there are that many traps, which is good. Because I don't want there to be more than just a couple per floor. So, yeah. All right. Well, on that, we've got the monster spawning again. We've got the item spawning again. So let's come over here to the board. So, yes, tomorrow, we will probably add another room decoration. I don't think we're going to do the intro dialogue. We could add a new puzzle. We could add an 8th card. Add a 4th floor. The autoplay toggle would be pretty easy, but it's not a feature that I feel like we need. Yeah. So at this point, I think it's really just building more stuff out, right? So tomorrow might be a bit more of a chill stream. I'll probably just have my microphone off for some of it because I'm going to be just creating a 4th room or a 4th floor. Actually, and let's also write down we need to make floor exit look better. Because right now it is very janky. Also, we need to add I'm trying to decide on what we would call it. Add safe place, add room between. Let's do add level progression scene. Choosing direction after leaving floor. So I don't want it to just randomly pick another floor every single time. I want you to feel like you are kind of choosing where you're going, right? So I think in terms of, I'm trying to remember what, I mean, I know they have this in a lot of different games, but think in terms of, what is that roguelite? I cannot remember what that roguelite is. But basically, so after you clear a floor or your level or whatever, it brings up a map, and you can choose, there's usually 2 to 3 or maybe 4 different paths you can go. So basically, you have your starting point, and then it branches off, and then those kind of branch off, but then all those branches come back together to the end. And so you're like kind of choosing your path, but not really. But you're able to kind of choose like, okay, I want to go this way because it says here that there are more items in this dungeon versus more monsters over here, so I get more experience. And then every now and then, maybe after every like 2 to 3 levels, it'd be like, well, if you go this way, here's camp or something like that, where you can restock, you can sell items, you can do all that stuff. So that's kind of where the level progression scene, I want it to take it. So we might create that tomorrow. So it may not be as chill of a stream as I was originally thinking, but so we may do that. So you have kind of the in-between. So as you're teleporting from floor to floor, you're choosing your path. It feels like you have more of a choice. I mean, you will have a choice, but anyway. And then you eventually get to the end where you're going to fight the boss. So yeah, we're probably going to do that tomorrow. And we've got decorations, adding more floors, more. And then we also want to get the intro dialogue set, get like a main menu created and stuff like that. Create main menu. We also need that as well. Yes, we'll set the autoplay toggle a little bit further down. I also think I may move the purple D20s. Yeah, that's gonna be canceled. So we're not gonna do that. I am thinking though. Maybe, and this is just me thinking out loud here. Maybe for your progression. So as you're going through, for your progression, and this kind of comes into the idea of getting rid of the luck stat. But as you're collecting dice, purple dice, those are used in the path you want to take. So you need X amount of purple dice to go a certain way, right? So as you're collecting the purple dice, if you want to go in a better direction, you need more purple dice. We could do that. Now, if we were to do that, we would have to make it so there are certain amounts of purple dice that you can collect. So relying just simply on RNG is probably not going to be the best way to do that. We would have to encourage it to spawn a little bit more, or maybe a specific amount. Be like, you have to spawn at least 3 purple dice every time, or something like that. Just a thought. Just a thought. Anyway, well, I think we're good there. We're going to call it. I think we got a lot of stuff done. And there I go. I'm dead. I think we got a lot of good stuff done. We got the trap system all set up and going. It, I think, looks and feels good. I wouldn't say it feels fantastic, but it's fun to play, which is half the battle, is making it feel fun to play. So, yeah. So tomorrow we will probably build out the beginnings of the level progression system. So you can choose your path and make it so that, you can feel like you have input on where you're progressing to. Eventually getting to some end boss where you have to be strong enough to get there and defeat him. Yeah. Cool. Well, I appreciate everyone who joined. Thank you so much for the comments, for taking part in the conversation today. Yeah. Tomorrow, same place, same time. And if you've got any suggestions about the project that you feel like I should implement or think about doing, let me know. You can comment on any of the videos that I upload on YouTube or social media. I'm on X, Instagram, all that fun stuff. So not saying you need to follow me or anything like that, but if you have any suggestions, I am there and I am all ears. I want to make sure that this game is fun for anyone and everyone to play. And so hopefully whatever I implement is fun and enjoyable. So, okay. Well, on that, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.